Hello and welcome to my latest English vocabulary lesson on different types of houses. Our first type of house is an apartment. Apartment is more commonly used in American English, but in British English, an apartment can be called a flat. A lot of houses can be described as being duplex. And when an apartment has 2 levels or 2 stories, we simply call it a duplex apartment. Let's move on to our next house type, which is a little bit smaller. Cottage type is a bungalow. When it comes to bungalows, they generally have 1 level. This word is commonly used throughout the English-speaking world, but in American English, it is often referred to as a holiday destination home. Bungalow. Our next home type is also common in America. It is called a cabin. Cabins are generally small houses, and again, in America, they are often used for vacation purposes. We can describe them as wooden, as they are made out of logs, which is cut timber. And because of this, they are sometimes referred to as a log cabin. A similar type of house is called a chalet. The T here at the end of the word is silent. Chalet. And because they are generally found in Switzerland, they can be referred to as a Swiss chalet. They are typically wooden and found in the Swiss Alps. Let's move on to our next house type. Now, you may know this building as a barn, and it is usually located in a farm. These can be made into a house and are called a barn conversion. And we use this word conversion because the barn has been converted or changed into a house. The main house or home on a farm is simply called the farmhouse. Generally, houses that can be moved or are on wheels are called mobile homes. And in British English, this can be referred to as a caravan. A caravan or RV, which is a bit bigger and more stationary, in American English is called a trailer. Next type of house is a detached house. This type of house generally has 2 levels and stands alone. Up next, we have semi-detached. And this type of house shares 1 wall with another house. Semi-detached. Okay, let's move on to our next house type, which is called a terraced house. A terraced house is part of a continuous row of houses. These are common in the UK and Ireland. Moving on, our next house is called a villa. A villa has a particular style, which is generally from the Mediterranean, and they are typically found in warm climates. Our next house type is a manor. Manors are generally large houses with lots of land. These type of houses are a remnant of the feudal system. This is an old system of society where lords or kings or princes owned big houses and rented lands to tenants. Similar to a manor is a mansion. And again, these are large houses and usually very expensive. They are typically associated with luxury and wealth. Some people in the world still live in castles. Castles are defensive homes to help against attack, and they are very old and generally not built anymore. Our next house type is a palace. Palaces are typically large, opulent buildings. And typically, they are the residence of a leader of a country, like a king, a president, or a prime minister.
Types of houses.
Hut.
A hut is a small, simple house made of grass, mud, or logs.
Barn.
A barn is a large building for sheltering animals or storing grains.
Bungalow.
A bungalow is a low house, usually having only one story.
Cabin.
A cabin is a small and simple house made of wood.
Castle.
A castle is a large and strong building where a royal family lives.
Cottage.
A cottage is a small house, usually in the country.
Igloo.
An igloo is a semicircular house made of hard snow.
Tree house.
A tree house is a wood house which is built on the branches of a tree.
Tent.
A tent is a shelter made of cloth, held by ropes and poles.
Fort.
A fort is a strong building that is made to defend from the enemy.
Dormitory.
A dormitory or dormitory is a building with many bedrooms in a school where students live.
Mobile home.
A mobile home or a mobile home is a house which can be moved from one place to another using a vehicle.
Hotel.
A hotel is a place where you pay to eat and sleep.
Camper van.
A camper van is a motorhome with rooms to live inside.
Villa.
A villa is a large and luxurious house where you spend your holiday.
Chalet.
A chalet is a small wooden house in the mountains, especially in Switzerland, where you spend your holiday.
Yurt.
A yurt is a type of round tent with wooden frame.
Skyscraper.
A skyscraper is a very, very tall building.
Tower.
A tower is a tall and narrow building.
Terraced house.
A terraced house is a house that is joined by other houses with the same wall and built in the same way.
Mansion.
A mansion is a large, luxurious house.
Manor.
A manor is a large private house in the country on a big piece of land along with other smaller buildings around it.
Townhouse.
A townhouse is a tall, narrow house in a town or city, usually joined together with other similar houses.
Detached house.
A detached house is a house that is not joined to any other house.
Apartment.
An apartment is a room or a set of rooms for living on one floor of a building.
Apartment building.
An apartment building is a large building that has several apartments.
Condominium or condo.
A condominium or condo is an apartment building where each apartment is owned by the people who live in it.
Types of houses. Camper van. Tent. Igloo. Lighthouse. Detached house. Cottage. Villa. Block of flats in the UK, apartment building in the US. Terraced houses. Castle. Semi-detached houses. Skyscraper or high-rise. Different types of houses. House. Hut. Farmhouse. Log cabin. Barn. Castle. Hotel. Building. Dormitory. Nursing home. Lighthouse.
There are very many different types of houses that I wasn't able to include in this video.